So today we are here in front of the Alchemy station. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention I've been tweaking my audio lately, so if things have sounded different, that's why. Let me know if the audio in this video down in the comments. Let me know if the audio sounds better or worse. I'm still trying to get a hang of things, and I'm trying to, refine it, fine-tune it, get it just right. So anyway, let's talk about alchemy. Now, I previously did a video where I explained how to acquire an alchemy station. Real quick, you need to get a crafting station, then you need to make a furnace to smelt glass, and then using the glass in the crafting station with wood and copper nails, specifically desert palm wood, you can create an alchemy station. And then, of course, the use itself is pretty simple. I'll put a link up here in the corner for the video so you can watch that if you haven't seen it already. But we're not here to talk about how the alchemy station works. No. We're here, as you can see, I've got the mystery boxes set up, to talk about the results of alchemy. We're here to talk today about potions. And so this is a video I've wanted to do for a while. And so I've been diligently collecting potions, and I've got them subdivided into 6 broad groups. Now, this is not exhaustive. There may be potions in the game that I have not found, that I may not have even heard of. And of course, there could certainly be more potions in the final release, as this is just the demo version, so this is not a completely comprehensive video. This is just to show you guys what's out there so far, to give you an idea of what they've got already made and where their thought process is on alchemy. And also, another note before we get into the potions about the alchemy station. Now, obviously, I explained the progression here, but this is not where this progression stops, because this table is going to have, I don't know if it's going to be upgrades or if it's going to be replaced with more advanced tables. Perhaps you pick it up, put it in the crafting table with some kind of material to make a more advanced alchemy station. But we know by looking in the compendium under, where is it, crafting and then alchemy, we can see that there are 3 effects from each potion, right? And you can just by looking at this video, you can see the table in this video is more advanced. Look at this table right here. It's more advanced than the one we have. This has 4 effects, or 4 slots, I should say. So there is potential to mix and match ingredients here to get potions with multiple different kinds of effects on it. So what I'm going to go over right now is just scratching the surface of what potions are going to be able to do in the main game. Alchemy is going to be a much more detailed, more comprehensive system than what we've got right now. But this is just to give you guys a little taste, we're doing a little tasting, a potion tasting, if you will. So our first chest here, this group I call defensive potions. Now, there are 3 elemental ones. There is electricity resistance, freeze resistance, and fire resistance. And we know those are the 3 of the 4 major types of elemental damage. We know there's a 4th, poison immunity. But let's take a look at this one. This is the 5th potion here. So we got the 3 elemental immunities, or resistances, poison immunity, and this gives you 20 base defense and increases its base defense by 5%. Now, I want to test this out, right? All right, so I've got on 50 points exactly. I picked a nice round number so that we could easily see the math when we take this potion. Now, if it works the way I think it will, it should put us up to 70% or 70 points, because it gives that 20, and then 5% of that would be 3.5. So if it goes up to 73 or 74 thereabout, we'll know that that's how this works, that it adds the 20% and then the 5%. So let's go ahead and use this and see what happens. All right, so I was right, 74. That means it added 20 points to your total, and then that new number went up by an additional 5%. So that's a big boost. That means if you have an 80 armor, it'll put you up to 105. If you have 100 armor, it'll put you up to 126. So the higher your armor is, the bigger the bonus it's going to give you because of that 5%. It's going to be slowly increasing, but it'll increase. So this is a really cool potion. And you see how slow it's draining. Look at that. See, and this is interesting because it says for 20 seconds, but it gave it to me for 2.5 minutes. So I'm wondering if maybe the amounts of time that is showing on here, I mean, obviously they're incorrect, because it's been more than 20 seconds. It should be gone by now, and I still have it. All right, so going forward for the rest of these, I'm just going to disregard potion durations, because I'm not going to drink and test every one of these potions. I suppose if you guys want me to, I could do that in the future, but I don't see a value doing that right now, because the durations are going to change anyway when the pre-release comes out, when the early access comes out, and probably what it says on the potions is going to change too. So I could go through, but for now, we know right now we can ignore the numbers that are currently on there because they're not accurate. So I'm just going to do broad strokes of effects of potions rather than worrying about specific durations. So the next category here is healing potions, or restoration potions, if you will, because they don't all just straight restore health, although that is one of the potion effects that we have here. There are only 2 in this group, and I only put 2 in here because there are only 2 potions that I've come across that explicitly do nothing but restorative effects with no other effect included in it. So the first potion, obviously, is a healing potion. It is, in my opinion, the most important potion in the demo. That may change in the full release, but right now, the big thing that I'm coming up against is always being low on health. And so I like to carry some of these around if I can. As you see, I've already got 5 of these, and 4 of them I found, 1 I brewed. So this is what you get when you brew a potion. And these are the 4 options of ingredients that you can use. Now, honeycomb, I included it because it is an option if you're desperate, but I recommend don't use it. Use these 3. Meat, every animal in the game that you kill. Bears, birds, capybaras, everything. They all drop meat. So this is just, as you can see, I've got 200 of them. I got 3 stacks of this. Meat is plentiful. So if you want to cook some of these and make steaks, you can. If you want to make some meat strips, you can. Those are really good for restoring health. And you still have enough to heal with. And then, of course, you got resin, which it's literally, it's the only thing it does. It's not used in anything else. It's not used for cooking. It's not edible. And it's, as you can see, I've got 46. I got this like 2 or 3 islands. I had a bunch of it. This is very common, and it doesn't do anything else. Another ingredient, brown wood cap, also very common, also doesn't do anything else. And if you're really desperate, you can just eat it and restore health straight. And 8 HP over 3 seconds is actually pretty good. This is a good healing item on its own, but I would save it to make it for the potions. So these are the 3 ingredients that I use to make potions. Now, the reason I say not to use honey, even though it is an option, is because there's like 3 food recipes, like really good ones, that use honey as an ingredient that are way better than 40 hit points. Now, to be fair, the main difference between food and health potions, you see it's 40 points over 5 seconds. That's, what is that, 8 points a second? That is the best restoration you're going to get in the game. Whereas if you eat this, this is just shy of 3 points a second. And that's probably the second best. I went through and looked at all the food, and I might do a video on food later. The best I have seen is 2 points a second. So food is what you want to eat or consume after the fight's over to get your health back. Whereas health potions, you want to consume this when you're in the middle of a big fight and you're about to die. And you need that health back very fast. There isn't anything that I've seen that it's just like instantly back to full health, but this is pretty close, especially if the potion gets more powerful. If you get 80 or 100 HP over 5 seconds, that's 28 points a second. That's basically instant. That's quite good. The other potion we have here is called Purification. Now, this cleanses all effects, as it says, instant effect. And what that does is it removes things like if you're frozen, if you're poisoned, if you're on fire, it gets rid of all that stuff. So it's a purely restorative, but it doesn't give hit points back. There is a potion, and I'll get to it in a sec, that reduces the cost of stamina. But I have not yet seen a potion that restores stamina. And I think that's probably because the stuff that you can cook at the cooking station is already really, really good at restoring stamina. And your stamina restores itself pretty quickly on its own if you just stop for a breather for a couple seconds. So they probably felt there was no need for it, and I would tend to agree. So it looks like these right now are our two restorative, these are our two restoration potions here. All right, so this category is the digging category. Yes, there are 3 digging-related potions. Now, the first one, this is the one I was talking about. Your actions use 25% less stamina. There are enough ingredients in the game right now to craft this, but if you brew this potion, it only gives you 5%, not 25%. I found these in chests and barrels. The second one is called Soft Hands. And so basically what this does is, whenever you use a tool, if you use a pickaxe and hit a rock with it, that pickaxe takes a point of durability damage. What this does is it makes it so roughly 1 in 4 just doesn't happen. It's like Unbreaking 1 in Minecraft. And then of course we have Diligence, which increases the effectiveness. This basically makes you dig faster. Whereas normally it would, and you see it's only 5%. I brewed this potion. That's how you can tell that it was a potion that I created, because it's so small of a percentage. But it increases the effectiveness. So I can see at higher levels. Like, for example, right now, with an iron pickaxe, it takes me 3 hits to break stone. With a high enough diligence, it could take me 2, which means you could literally dig faster. So if you're only hitting each rock twice, and 1 in 4 of those hits is not doing damage, you can dig for way longer and get more done in that period of time. And if you use one of these, you'll also be able to dig longer because you'll be taking fewer breaks. So these 3 together are incredible. I mean, obviously, this one is going to have other combat-related applications. Running, jumping, swinging your weapon, taking shots with a bow and arrow or a staff. This is going to have broader implications. But in my opinion, the most effective use of this is when you're mining. Like if you're doing what I was doing the other day, where I was mining a buttload of stone for a build. You take these 3 potions, you get it done so much faster. So that's why I put these 3 together in the digging section. All right, so this next group is probably my favorite one out of all of them. I call it the velocity group because it is all about controlling your velocity or the impact of velocity. So this first one, obviously, swiftness, says it right there. Increases movement speed by 25%. Now, I took one of these a while back. I did feel like I was moving a little faster, but it wasn't a huge bump. But of course, I only had the most basic form of the potion. I'm sure there will be higher level potions in the future where you really will feel like you're tearing it up. Next, we have Fall Absorber. This is literally just feather falling, like in Minecraft. When you hit the ground, you take less damage from falling. Or what do they call it? Acrobatics in Fallout 4. Similarly, this is like having an acrobatics piece of armor on. This one actually slows down your fall speed. This is slow fall. So you float to the ground rather than just plummet to your death. It lasts up to 60 seconds, so you want to make sure you're not falling too far before you take it. But the cool thing about this is, it says, or until the player crouches. So if you want to cancel it early, you can. If you get within 8 blocks of the ground and you're like, all right, I can just fall the rest of the way. You just crouch and cancel it and you'll just land. And then, of course, Windborne. This controls how fast you fly. It is the counterpart to this one. And I love that all of these potions are various shades of blue. I love that they thought to make them all the same, kind of close to the same color. This one is... It's only got 2 potions in it. I call it the combat group. And these 2 potions specifically focus on criticals. So, Sharp Instinct. This increases the chance of getting a critical by 5%. And then we have Lethal Precision, which increases critical damage by 5%. So this makes you get a critical more often. This makes the critical worse. I have not yet seen any potions that increase base damage. I've only found these 2 combat potions. So this might be the whole combat group. And last but not least, and for this one, we are going to need to do just a tiny bit of speculation, because 2 of these potions, as you can see, I don't have potions for them, and I don't have ingredients to brew them. So, we're going to go over this real quick. I guess you could call it like the Thievery chest, or the Thievery group, because these are all things that if you're a thief or a rogue would be valuable to you. So the first one we have here is the jump boost. Obviously, it helps with mobility. It can help you get up into higher places that you can't normally reach. It increases your jump by 50%, and you can already, I believe you can jump 1.5 blocks, because I've stood on slabs and jumped up to 2 blocks. So with this, you could jump 2 blocks with this potion right here. That means a higher intensity one, you could probably jump 3, maybe even at the highest level, jump 4 blocks. The second one is light. It's like you have a torch. When you're holding a torch, you emit a light radius. This lets you emit a light radius when, like you have a torch, when you don't actually have one. So this one, we just went over a potion that lights up a room and lets you see what you're doing, right? So I don't think that this is a night vision potion. My theory is that the perception potion lets you see invisible monsters. And we already know of at least one invisible monster that is currently in the demo. And there could be more that appear in the full version. And that is the Wraith. Find yourself in a graveyard, Wraith starts shooting at you, you hit it a couple times, what does it do? It turns invisible. You pop a perception potion, oh look, there's its outline, now I can attack it. And you can't, I've hit the Wraith when he was invisible. So he can be hit, you just don't know where to swing. My theory is that the perception potion lets you see maybe an aura or an outline, or maybe it just makes him fully visible. And then the last one here we have is lock picking. It's pretty easy to infer what this does. When you try to pick a lock, I don't know if you guys have ever had this where I've used 6, 7, 8, 9 lock picks in a row to pick a lock. I think this just increases your likelihood. It's just a luck bonus, so that maybe you get it on the second lock pick instead of number 7. But you can see why I call these the Thievery, because lockpicking, perception, illumination, and mobility, these are all things that would be valuable to a thief. All right, so yeah, that is all of the potions that I have come across so far. Now, for my next video, I was thinking, I've been thinking about what do I want to do with that big boy over there, with that cube. And it's not really a cube. Somebody mentioned, I forgot to explain what I meant when I said we'll get into that later, because I didn't get into it later. It's not a cube, because when you expand it, and I went over this in the second video, when I did the ship frame update video, where when you expand the ship, it only expands forward, backwards, out to the sides, and up. It does not expand down. So it's not a cube. And I had a plan. I had an idea for what I wanted to do with this cube when it was done. A really cool idea that I thought would be super fun. And I've been kind of resistant, to what I wanted to do with this. And I realize now that maybe I should stop resisting and assimilate. Because resistance is futile. Thanks for checking out my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.